guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy you all are here and that you've been showing me so much love and support and kindness, and I absolutely love creating content. And today I'm all fancy in a pantsuit. Anyway, it's a suit. And today I wanted to share with you 17 life lessons I've learned in my 17 years of being alive. And it seems like a very personal topic, but I know that so much of me has grown and changed and evolved in all of these years, and just getting to share that with you is absolutely amazing. Okay, so the first life lesson I've learned is that you're the only one burning from the anger. Being angry is like holding hot coal in the center of your hand, and you might have it with the intention of throwing it at another person, but the only one who's really getting burned is you. So let it go and understand that it is not who you are. It is merely a part of you that fights for you, that protects you. But the second it starts harming you, you need to understand that it's had its time. The second life lesson is to be present in everything you do. Whether you're spending time with your siblings, whether you're sitting and you're just journaling or gardening, just make sure that you're living every moment intentionally, because it's so easy to become mindless and indulge in things that we don't really have to think about. But the second you consciously make a decision to think about those things, your life becomes so much more fruitful because you're actively engaging in it. So be present, be intentional, be mindful. And these might seem like big words that everyone keeps throwing around that have no real meaning. But all it means is that every time you zone out, try to bring yourself back to the present moment by reminding yourself of what you're doing. The third life lesson that I have realized is that your relationships are the only things that stay. It seems like people are easy to let go of, that relationships are fleeting, and that everyone's in your life to teach you something, and the second they're done, they go. But I've realized that my relationships are my biggest asset. They come above how much I'm earning, what I'm doing, what I'm achieving, because they make me who I am. So understand that everyone who is in your life, yes, they are there to serve a purpose, but that is not all they are. They're also human beings who are connected to you in their own ways. And they expect deep-rooted attachment just the way you do. Your relationships make you who you are. They're a reflection of the person you are. And they help you grow in ways that you cannot grow in any other sense. I have grown to realize that your chosen family says so much more about you than your blood family, because those are the people who you actively choose to keep in your life. So make sure that you invest time in your relationships, that you put in effort into making sure that the people who are in your life know that they are loved and they are valued. Lesson 4, and all my IG gals know this: treat your body like it's your home. And it's taken me so long to learn this one. I should be embarrassed. It's something that we should be taught as babies, but we really aren't. Your body is the vessel that allows you to view the world. It's the vessel through which you have all your experiences, and treating it like something that's constantly changing is so important. We just need to realize that loving your body is a journey, but accepting your body is something that we need to strive to do every single day. Because even though I might not feel like I'm worthy of ramp walking, I should still be able to say that this is who I am and this is my body, and it is providing me with 40,000 things apart from the way it looks. It's taking care of me every single day. It's allowing me to live my life, and it is the least interesting thing about me, but it is also one of the most important things in my life because I need to take care of it. So take care of your body like it's your home. Treat it with the love and kindness that you would treat someone you love. The fifth lesson I've learned is about healing. It's not really a destination, and we've been told that when we heal, it's this surreal feeling that's out of the world and you've had this huge emotional breakthrough, but it's really not all that. It's a destination. Every single day, every single action we take needs to be a step towards it, and understanding that just the fact that you've chosen to get on the journey is so much more important than any foreseen destination that we might hope to achieve. So please be proud of yourself for starting the journey, for just wanting to start the journey, because awareness that you need to heal is the most important step. The sixth life lesson I've learned is that the only thing that we should strive to achieve is that we are proud of the life we create. Some people have big dreams of being CEOs and owning MNCs and having a huge, rich, luxurious life. Some people don't. And I don't think that's because they don't have the resources to have those dreams. Sometimes it is. But sometimes it's just because they don't want to. For the longest time, I dreamt of having huge windows with the sunlight pouring through and an orange sofa. And it seemed like such a tiny dream as opposed to all the big dreams that everyone I love was seeing. But I realized that they're my dreams and I'm allowed to choose how big or small they are. So dream a different variety of dreams. Allow yourself to dream small as much as you allow yourself to dream big. Because getting to have those big windows and that 4-seated kitchen and plants all over your house is as big of an accomplishment as publishing a book. The one thing that separates us as humans from all other living creatures is our ability to be vulnerable, to effectively be open, honest, intimate, and vulnerable. And it's a gift that we've completely forgotten about. Today, being sensitive is one of the greatest gifts in the world. Being honest is one of the greatest gifts in the world. So allow yourself to be open, allow yourself to be authentically yourself, because we're so afraid of getting hurt, we're so conscious of trying to fit in that we forget that we're human beings. We have our own individual identity and we should not only embrace it, we should also allow other people to love us for it. And if someone loves you for this molded version of you that you've projected on them, they don't really love you. So allow yourself to be who you really are from the core of your heart. The eighth life lesson I've learned is that change is the only constant. Our lives are constantly changing, growing. We are constantly evolving as people. But it's okay to cling on to things that matter. Hold on to relationships that have served you. Hold on to patterns that have served you. You're allowed to keep the same routine. You don't have to have New Year's resolutions. You're allowed to be the same person if you know that that person is constantly choosing to grow. And there's a huge difference between changing and growing. Changing means that a part of you is becoming different. Growing means that the part remains the same, except it's like an update. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to grow and not change. So understand that you're allowed to cling on to things in your past that have served you, that have made you happy. If you love to dance in the rain as a 7-year-old, you can do it as a 70-year-old. It doesn't really make a difference. So please remind yourself that your past doesn't always necessarily have to be something you need to let go of. It can also be something you cherish and recreate. The ninth lesson I've learned and that I'm still constantly striving to learn is that gratitude can change your life. Every day I wake up, I have 40 things to complain about. The bed isn't made, the light is too harsh, it's rainy, it's sunny, it's hot, the AC isn't working, my food isn't here, I hate what's made for lunch. And the second I realize that I'm getting into that cycle of complaining, I know my day is going to go down to the dumps. I have made it a conscious practice in my life to practice gratitude every single night. Being grateful for all the tiny and the big things that have been happening in my life, whether it's getting this roof over my head, whether it's getting the food that I really love served to me on a golden platter, whether it's all the relationships that I have, the work I'm getting to do, how creative I am. And every day looking for new things to be grateful for makes you more conscious that there are so many things to be grateful for. The more you count your blessings, the more blessings there are to count. So gratitude can truly, truly change your life if only you give it the space to do it. Your life is going to be a collection of big moments and tiny moments. And I've come to realize that the tiny moments are actually the big moments. Yes, I'm going to remember how much I scored in 10th grade, but I'm also going to remember that we stayed up all night till 5 a.m. watching a 90s classic, eating spicy ramen, and I cried. And that memory is so much more precious to my heart as opposed to how much I scored. And in the moment, it doesn't really seem that way, but it really is. And the same way, all of these trips and experiences and achieving big things. They mean so much. But the tiny everyday acts of being consistent, of being joyful, of finding things to be grateful for, those are the things that really mold you as a person. So please make sure that your everyday is a reflection of who you are as opposed to just the big moments. Just understanding that the tiny moments are what create the big ones is so important. I have come to realize that we live in a world where it's very easy to be cruel. And that's because we all have the resources, we're all annoyed, we're all constantly on edge. The harder thing to do is to be kind. And it's something that I'm still struggling to do. It's really easy to snap, and it's something I really suffer through. When I'm in a bad mood, it comes out on everyone around me. I project it. And learning and making the conscious decision to be kind is so important, because not only does it make you feel better about yourself, it also ensures that you're doing your part to make the world a better place. You don't know what someone else is going through, what sort of a day they've had, and projecting your own sadness onto them just makes their day worse, and it doesn't even make you feel better. So just every time you want to snap, count it 3 in your head and be like, is it worth it? And if you really think it is, snap. But I highly doubt that you're going to reach that conclusion. So just be kind to the people around you. We're all coexisting. We all deserve a place on this earth. And understanding that is so important. The 12th one, it's taken me a while to realize. And that is that I need to stand up for myself. And I need to stand up for what I believe in, no matter how hard it is. Because I'm at this position of privilege, I need to ensure that I use my privilege to make the world a better place for everyone around me and for myself. I wouldn't say it makes you a weak person to not stand up for yourself, but I would say that if you have the opportunity and if you know that you have the courage in your heart, do it. Stand up for yourself, whether it's against one person, whether it's against 40 people, whether it's for 2 people, do it. Stand up for what you believe in, because the world will be a better place if you do. The 13th thing is that every day is not going to be situationally special. There's not going to be a trip or a lottery or a jackpot or a good score. But it is our responsibility to make our everyday special, to bring joy into our everyday. Whether it's drinking a new cup of tea, or making a recipe you really like, or changing your bedding. Just find tiny ways to spark joy in your everyday, because it's not guaranteed that you'll remember all 365 days of every year. But at least when you're living them, you can make them happy. And know that you are responsible for bringing that joy in your life. And the second you take charge of bringing tiny joy in your life, your mind automatically thinks that you are the one who's capable of bringing the big joy into your life. I've always taught myself to listen to respond. Wherever we're sitting, whatever discussion is happening, I listen to argue. I pinpoint things, remember them in my mind, and only respond to them. I refuse to listen to everything else. And that's just the way I've conditioned myself to be. But I'm consciously trying to listen, whether it's listening to someone's experience or situation or issue or opinion. It's important for me to listen without the intention of giving advice or responding or arguing. And I feel like that's so important, because it puts the other person at a pedestal at which they deserve to be, because they're talking to you because they feel you're trustworthy or important enough to be spoken to. And limiting what they're saying to a mere tool of your responding is so wrong. We need to listen because we want to listen, because we want to educate ourselves, we want to learn, we want to understand, not because we want to respond or argue or give advice. So try, every time someone tries to talk to you, try to listen because you want to listen to them. Okay, so the 15th thing I think we all need to learn is that we've been making our happiness very situational. When I score well, I will be happy. When I go on vacation, I will be happy. When I go to college, I will be happy. 3 days later, when I go on a sleepover, I will be happy. Your happiness should not be situational. You deserve to be happy every single day, and understanding that you are in control of your happiness is so important, because the second you make it dependent on some external situation, that means it can also be taken away that quickly, and it becomes a fleeting thing in your life. The 16th, or the second last thing I've learned, which has been so important to me, is learning to be alone but not lonely. And the difference is very stark. When you're lonely, you feel like you're not a part of the world, and when you're alone, you feel like you're an important part of the world. And being alone is it's a talent, it's a gift, it's something that you should appreciate, because when you're by yourself, you realize things about yourself that you can't realize surrounded by a group of people. The last thing I've learned, which by far I feel is the most important lesson in my life, is that trauma doesn't have an age and neither does strength. An 8-year-old can experience as much trauma as an 80-year-old, and an 8-year-old can be as strong as an 80-year-old. And neither of them should have to, but you can't undermine someone's trauma just because they're younger or because it's not as big as another person's trauma. Trauma isn't a spectrum. I have come to realize that it is our personal responsibility to ensure that we do not pass any of that trauma ahead to future generations or to the people around us, and healing ourselves is so important for that. So my last life lesson is that you can be strong no matter how old you are, and your trauma is not less no matter how old you are. So here's to living many more years and learning many more life lessons and sharing them with you all along the way. I'm so lucky that you allow me to do this. You give me the platform to be myself, to express myself, to show what I love so deeply and so honestly. I am blessed to be surrounded by so much love. And thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, do all the pizzazz, comment. Tell me what's the biggest life lesson you've learned in the comment section down below. In all of your years of existing, the biggest one, the one that impacted you the most. And I'll see you in the next video. So much love.